Well, I heard about Aurora College basically all my life. I grew up in the Advent Christian Church. In fact, my grandfather had been an Advent Christian minister in several locations in California. And when we'd go to church camp, Roger Perolini was always there, and we'd sing in the choir, and then we'd have Joe Tom Tater, someone do a the evangelistic tent service, which I don't think they do anymore. But anyway, we always heard about Aurora College. And my brother attended Aurora College and actually graduated he was about 3 years ahead of me. So my first year at Aurora, my brother Carl Kuhn was still there. And I also wanted, having grown up in Southern California as a California girl, I wanted to experience life where there was snow and cold weather and that kind of thing. So Aurora really fit the bill for me.
I learned about Aurora was when I was a small lad. My father ended up going to Aurora to become a minister. And so I was living in Spartan Terrace, quote, Fertile Valley, when I was 3, 4, and 5 years old. And I have some vivid remembrance of that. And then through the years, being in the Advent Christian Church, and I kept hearing about Aurora, and I started thinking, well, this might be good. And then I was actually at a Camp Swanee in Florida, a church camp, and Adrian Shepard and Harold Thixton were counselors for Aurora, and they came down, and they were talking a lot about it. And so finally, I said, yeah, I think this is where I want to go, and I'm glad I made that decision. But one thing, near the end of that first year, we moved all the books from Eckert Hall over to the new Phillips Library. The administration,
Yeah, the administration.
asked all of the students that were willing to help move the books. So we physically walked up, I think it was the second floor, and got the books and headed over to the new library, and we kept doing that for a number of hours. But something unique about it, I have a picture here, and you see this young man here with all those books. That's me. And I was actually the very first person that got the books into the new library.
I could add something about campus life and the advantages of going to Aurora College, which may still be the case to this day. It was very small when we went there. I'm not sure what the student population was. But anyway, I had attended a very large high school, about 1,500 kids in 3 grades. It was very large, 500 kids in my graduating class. So it was harder to get involved in things or be noticed. Even though I was on the dance team, that type of thing, it was still hard to get involved. And so I went to Aurora College. It was very advantageous to take advantage of opportunities that you wouldn't have at a huge, overwhelming. I was able to be a cheerleader. I was on the homecoming court. I was in the choir, lots of committees, and those kinds of things. And so I think that really provides a young person the opportunity to grow and develop some leadership abilities and find out who you are, which you might not have in a large university where a classroom could be 200 students. So, 40,000 kids at the school. So, and I think that's probably still true today at Aurora. As I said, some of those professors I had that just really force you to think about your beliefs, not just spew them out, but really think, well, do I really believe what I'm saying? And it helped me to be less judgmental of people who thought differently. And while I was only there for 2 years and then transferred back and graduated in Southern California, those 2 years were really pivotal in forming my philosophy of life that is still with me today. Respect for others, self-respect, of course putting God at the central of your lives, and just that knowing that you really can. It was a community. I don't know how else to say it. Aurora College was a community. And so you really had that community caring and sharing and non-judgmental, and it still was. It had that innocent veneer that I think is lacking today in big universities. And so that just gave you the opportunity to grow and develop before you really went out, in the big wide world. And I just really find that has stuck with me all these years, and I hope and I believe we transferred those values to our son. And he's transferring those values to his son. So it is a long legacy.
I went into education, public school teacher, And some of the things that I picked up on at Aurora that professors did, I use. And so, and the caring. So when I'm teaching for 35 plus years, that I was making sure that I really showed kids that I cared about them. And I was using some of the things that, even though I didn't start off in education at Aurora, I used those techniques in my own, teaching on my own. And so I've gone to several other universities since then, but no way I have ties. I mean, to the degree that I do at Aurora.